I need to make my perfect pair of balloon pants. In the last video, I made a mock-up and they came out cute. They came out cute, but I have a few adjustments to do to the mock-up. First of all, the major adjustment that I have to do is the crotch area. It's a little bit too tight for my liking. The pants sits below my belly button. I want that to be a little higher, and I need a little bit more ease in the crotch area. I went on a deep dive and I watched several videos, which almost took me almost 2 hours to watch all of these videos, and I think I found the perfect video that I can follow in order to adjust my pattern and add some more ease and some more room in the crotch area. Before I start cutting into my good fabric, I think I need to make a second mock-up just to be sure, just to be on the safe side. Although I do have 5 yards of this fabric, I still want to keep as much fabric as I can because I can make another outfit with whatever is left over. Since I do have some more of this bed sheet, I have more fabric from the fitted sheet, so I am going to make a second mock-up really quickly before I start moving on to making my perfect balloon pants. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you're new to the channel, my name is Michelle. I do all things sewing over here, sewing vlogs, sewing tutorials, everything sewing. So if that's your vibe, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. So I have all of my notes here. I started writing down some notes from the first video that I watched. I thought it would be the perfect video for me, but I have a lot that I need to adjust in my crotch area. So after working out all of the formulas that she had, I realized that I could not work with the way she adjusts the crotch. I had to scratch all of this. I thought it would work for me, but it's not. What I realized in another video that I watched is that you measure out the pattern's crotch area. The pattern that I drafted is 25 inches and my actual crotch measurement is 26.5. That measurement is pretty exact, and I think I want to add about a ½ inch of ease. So we're just going to say that my crotch measurement is 27 inches. Now, just for good measure, I put on a pair of work pants that is pretty relaxed in the crotch area. I have a little bit more room. So what I did was measure from the start of the pants, not including the waistband, and I just measured from here all the way to the back part of the pants, and that measurement came up to 28.25. So if I'm coming up with 27 inches, I think that's a good start. See how it's bunching up a little bit here? I do feel like it's a little low, but it's really relaxed. I think 27 inches is going to be a good start for me, and hopefully this will be enough to have the room that I'm looking for. The video that I'm going to follow instructs you to take your current pattern, get the measurement of the crotch area from this pattern, and then match it to your actual body measurements. What I did was trace out all of my seam allowance along this portion of the crotch and also going down the pants leg. This is the back, and then I did the same thing on my front piece. I just traced out my seam allowance a little bit on the crotch and down the pants leg seam. Once you get your seam allowances traced out, you want to put your front and your back pieces and align them. This is my seam allowance line. This is my seam allowance line, and I'm going to meet those two lines. I'm taking my measuring tape and I'm going to measure all the way around this crotch area to get that measurement. I'm getting the measurement using the seam allowance line. This measurement came up to 24 3/4. So I put 25 for good measure. My pattern is coming up as 25 inches and my crotch is 26 and a half. And I'm adding 3/4 of an inch for ease. So that's a 2-inch difference that I have to adjust. What I want to do first and foremost is correct the bottom of my pants. One side was shorter than the other, so I want to try to correct that now. So I'm going to put the side seams together for the front and back. My back pattern piece is shifting up at the center back. I can see here that the back piece is a little short. I was just making sure that I was lining this up correctly to get the right length. I'm matching up the side seams from the top all the way to the bottom. Everything matches up from the top of the side seam all the way to the bottom of the pants leg. So I'm doing the same thing here, top of the side seam all the way to the bottom, and everything matches up. So I feel more comfortable with that now. The next thing I want to do is taper the leg on the inseam. I just have to eye it and sketch it out, just make it curve just a little bit more, and then I'll make my cut on my pattern. I just got some tracing paper, taped 2 pieces together to get the outline of the crotch all the way down and going across where my grain line is running. And I just trace everything exactly, including my grain line and the inseam, this crotch area, and going down my inseam. I didn't go all the way down because I don't really have to adjust that much. What I'm going to do is adjust the back 1 inch and adjust my front 1 inch, since I need to add 2 inches to my whole crotch area from the front and back. So from the video that I watched, she instructs you to mark your adjustment on your pattern. I have to adjust the back pattern 1 inch. So we're going to follow the top part of the pants, and I'm shifting that down 1 inch. And with this part that I traced, I am going to shift this down with a 1 inch mark, matching everything up. Here's my 1 inch mark right here. I'm going to take this part that I traced and move this down to the 1 inch mark. The grain line on this part that I traced has to match the actual grain line on the pattern piece. Match everything up and shift this if needed. So I'm making sure that this line, this grain line, is matching up with my pattern piece. I can see it through this tracing paper. So I'm going to shift it to where it matches up. Just make sure this stays in place. I'm going to cut out the excess on my tracing paper. I couldn't resist, so I ate a little something and I worked on the back pattern piece, adjusted that, and I whipped up a mock-up, a second mock-up. I I butchered it. I didn't do the full pant because I already know how I want the bottom, and I think that's gonna work out the way I want it to. This was the only area that I was concerned with. So that adjustment, that actually helped. I got it to sit above my belly button. I love where it's sitting now. Before it was like all the way, it was like right here. It was all the way down there. It was below my belly button. Now I'm able to comfortably put it over my belly button and it almost be high-waisted. This is exactly where I want it. Now for the crotch area, it's not bad. It's not tugging like that other mock-up that I did. When I raised the pants up on the other mock-up, just like I told you, the crotch was crotching. I have room, but I feel like I can use probably another 1/2 inch of ease down there. The front is good, but this back part of the crotch it's tugging just a little bit. And I want it to be really airy and flowy down there. Nothing tugging, nothing pulling, nothing dragging. I don't want anything touching. I love that it's sitting right on my waistline. I didn't adjust the fullness yet. I may reduce it a little bit in the hips and let it start flaring out at the hips. So flare out at the hips and then come back down to the ankle, so I can get like an actual balloon shape. I'm so happy with the second mock-up. Now I can go back to my pattern and refine it even more. I still may put that 1/2 inch, adjust it some more and drop it another 1/2 inch on the front and the back patterns so I can get more ease in the whole crotch area. And I think that'll be it. That'll also raise the waistline just a tad bit, which I'll be perfectly fine with. Or if I just want to leave it where it is, then I'll have more room in my crotch area. I just wanted to come in and tell y'all that everything worked out fine with the adjustment. I'll talk to y'all a little later today. Oh, and before I go, I just wanted to show y'all exactly what I did. I just put another piece of paper on top of my actual pattern. The adjustment that I had to make, I didn't cut this off. I just put some slits so I can fold everything back and then treat this as my new pattern. Just in case if it didn't actually work out, then I can always take this piece of paper off. This was just gonna be temporary until I get the right fit. But now that I really wanna go back and drop this another 1/2 inch, I already dropped it 1 inch. I think I wanna drop it another 1/2 inch. I could just put another piece of paper on top, drop it a 1/2 inch, and then trace it out to where it will extend a 1/2 inch down and a 1/2 inch over. This was an easy adjustment and an easy video to follow. I'll go ahead and link that video down below. So if you have this type of problem with your crotch and you need to adjust it, then you can follow this video. This took me a while to figure out how I wanted to reshape these legs. I want my balloon pants to kind of have sort of like a barrel shape, but it'll still have the balloon effect. I do like the volume that it's giving in the hips. I think it's just too much fabric. So I reduced it to 8 1/4. I added 12 inches onto my original trouser pattern. But I went back and refined these patterns, and instead of 12 inches, I brought it to 8 1/4. I just went and shaped it the way I wanted it. I kind of marked on my pattern where my hip line is. That's when I started to go out a little bit. And then once I get to the knee, then I started to come in, if that makes sense. These last 2 days, it's just been all over the place for me. But I need to get this done. I need to do as much as I can within like an hour and a half for tonight. I don't think I'll be able to get back in here tomorrow, but the following day, I have to hit the ground running with this and finish it all. This is the front pattern, and I tapered the bottom a good bit. So this is extended out 8 1/4. I just went smoothly out, just gradually brought it in on the outside. I also extended my crotch. I made my crotch adjustment a 1/2 inch deeper. So now this has been adjusted 1.5 inches. That was my original marking there for 1 inch. After I made the second mock-up with this being adjusted 1 inch, It was okay, but I feel like I needed just a little bit more room, so I went down another 1/2 inch, and this is the new pattern. I made the adjustment to the front and the back, just to be clear. I'm going to cut out the most easiest thing right now, which is the pocket. I want to also draft another waistband. Since this waistband is not going to have elastic in it, it's going to be fitted. I want this to be fitted and tight around my waist to cinch in my waist. I think I will have to put a little curvature in my waistband so it can sit really nicely on my natural waist. You know what? Let me go ahead and draft out that waistband first.
See you again very soon. Bye.
This is a different way to get a curved waistband. You're going to get your whole waist measurement, the width that you would like your waistband. Then once you have your strip cut out, you're going to divide your waist measurement into 5 sections. Once you have your markings for each section, you're just going to mark another line 1/4 away from your marking. I'm going to cut down this line that I drew. I'm going to cut it all the way through until I get just to the edge of this waistband. It should be able to hinge at the end. Now I can hinge it to meet it with this hash mark that's 1/4 of an inch away. Now I need to take this waistband and refine this a little bit more because it's a little boxy. Make sure this is nice and flat. Smooth all of these corners so it's nice and curved. It's not perfect, but I think this will do. I am supposed to add on seam allowance. I think I'm going to add the seam allowance when I go ahead and cut out my fabric. So I have my interfacing cut out. I know I may be using the wrong interfacing. This is a little thicker than what I prefer. I would prefer something a little lighter than this. I don't think I'm going to be mad at this. So I have 2 of these pieces. All right, let's get this started. I was in the zone trying to figure out the strap for the bottom of the pants. I was just trying to come up with a good measurement for the tie and having the option to create a bow to sit on the side or to tie it double time in order to knot it if I don't want a bow. So I was just testing the measurements out. I put 2 pieces together to make a strap or tie. I was just testing it on my ankle to see how I like it. So let me show y'all right quick. Tie it in the bow. Or if I'm just not feeling the bow tie that day, tie it around. Have enough fabric to bring it back around and just put a loose knot in it. You know, this was my first time doing something like this, and I'm so glad that I got it. I was just checking some things with the end of the zipper, making sure everything was secure and I didn't see any holes on the other side. I sewed down the rest of the pants leg. I think the zipper stops right here, so thing is looking secure. Here is the pocket. Now I can move on to the next step, which is ruching all of the top of the pants. I've already prepped front piece of the circle skirt. Now I'm prepping this one. So I'm folding in the sides. I'm double folding it on each side, and along the bottom I'm only going to fold that one time. After I prep this, I'm going to attach it to the waist area. I don't know if I want to actually stitch it. I want to see how it looks first, but I think it's going to look okay. So I might just stitch it on. I mean, if I don't like it, I'll just seam rip it and take it off. After I attach the skirts, then I'll start fooling with the bottom part of the pants. I have to condense the bottom parts of the legs as well. Then I have to attach the straps, the ties to the bottom. I don't know if I want to continue or leave those two things for tomorrow because it's pretty late. I'm kind of embarrassed to tell y'all what the time is, but I was just so anxious to get this started. And once I started, I couldn't stop. So I'm just really excited to get this done. So I just stayed up. It was kind of a long night last night. I don't need to explain. Something told me to try it on. Well, I know I'm supposed to try this on, like a first try on, second try on, just to see where I'm at. I'm not too far off, but I still have a lot of work to do. I thought my waistband was too long on one side, so I went in and trimmed one side down an inch, and now it's too short. I'll have to probably create a new waistband for the pants. Now that I'm trying it on, there are a couple of things that I need to fix on this. First of all, my skirt, I'm not happy with the outcome of it. I probably needed to do like a double full skirt. So probably cut out two more of these circles or half circles to make a double skirt in order for it to be like really rippled. It's not giving for me. I think I'm just gonna go in and put long stitches here to ruche it some more at the top in order to get that effect. These panels are long enough to stretch from side to side. And the reason why I say that is because I have to take in my waist a little bit more. What I'm noticing is that when you get your waist measurement, do not make it exact. So for instance, if your waist is a 25-inch waist, do not measure out your pants or skirt or shorts. Don't measure that the same exact measurement as your waist, because more than likely you still gonna have a little give if you go for your exact measurement. If you want this really snatched, you want to go in less than your waist measurement. I want this to be snatched. It seems like a good 2 inches. I'm gonna have to take this in. I may not even have to like take it in. I don't know if my long stitches are coming loose a little bit. I'll definitely take the skirt off, ruche this in a little bit more. Am I saying that correctly? I know there's another term when you put your long stitches and you, I can't think of the word. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. I'm going to put some long stitches on the skirt, give it some more ruffle on the top, which will give it a little bit more volume, because this is, you see how flat this is? This is really flat in the back, and I don't want it like that. Two things on the, well, really three things. I have to create another waistband. I have to take in the waist even more. And then for the bottom, I want to shorten the length. I put the bow on and you can't really see the bow. I think my pants are just a tad bit too long, and I want everyone to see the bow. I love the volume that I have in it now. What I had in that first mock-up, it was way too much. It was way too much fabric going on, but I think this is the perfect amount for me. What else? Oh, the crotch. The crotch, adding that extra half onto my pattern, that made a world of a difference. Now it's really relaxed. I do not feel the seam is very relaxed, and that's what I wanted. I just need to figure this situation out because this is too flat. I want it like this. I have a lot of work to do and I don't have much time. So let's get to it. Oh my God. Y'all, I love my pants. This was a long journey with these pants, from adjusting the pattern 2 to 3 times, making 2 mock-ups, going back and forth with what I wanted, what I didn't want. It was a long process. I achieved what I envisioned. I'm in love with my pants. I want to go ahead and discuss my challenges. I try to let viewers know, anybody know, all of my subscribers, anybody who views my videos, I like to let people know that sewing is not just a smooth process all the time. All run into challenges. We all run into roadblocks. It's not always a smooth process. When I was sewing these pants, I ran into a lot of roadblocks. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted and just correcting everything. I don't think it's a problem. I'm not seeing it as a problem because of the style of the pant, and it's so fun, and it looks like clown pants to me, but it's very stylish. Since I did use a pattern, I have the pattern running in all types of directions. When I put it on, I thought maybe I didn't like it, but just like I said, with the style of pant that I'm wearing, I'm okay with it. I didn't really take into account with this waistband that the direction was going to be off. I didn't know. I didn't really realize that. This side seam here is the center mark of my waistband. With this being the front of my waistband, the pattern is running in a slant direction. And you know, I'm okay with that. I'm now okay with it. But at first I was like, oh no, I messed up. And I was trying to go back to correct it. And that just, it just would have been too much. And then I have the direction of the skirt is kind of curving this way, and then the direction of the actual pants is going straight down. So it's 3 different directions of these pants, but I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. The other challenge was getting the skirt correct. It's correct now, but when I tried it on the first time, this skirt was falling really flat. It didn't have any ruffles to it. It didn't have the ripples going. But the problem was the waist measurement was 5 inches larger than what it was supposed to be. It was really large. I had to come in more with the waist and then attach my skirt. Once I came in more and drew in the stitches, my skirt was fine. I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but I just have to think about this next time if I want to make another pair of balloon pants, or if I want to make a pair of pants with a waistband, a high-waisted waistband. I was trying to get this waistband like really snatched on my waist. And I was saying I'm going to go in 1 inch less than what my waist measurement is. But I don't think that was the best idea, because now my waistband it's kind of folding over itself in the back. The front is pretty good, but the back is kind of folding in. And I think it's because it's too tight around my waist. So if you want to make these balloon pants or a pair of pants that's high-waisted, just go with your waist measurement or lessen it by maybe 1/4 of an inch or maybe a 1/2 inch. I think a 1/2 inch is probably stretching it, but just go in probably 1/4 of an inch. I went a whole inch in, and I don't think that was the best idea. I don't think that was the best idea. After I start sitting down, standing up, bending down, it's going to stretch over time. And also, I wanted to put a hook and eye on the top of my waistband, but I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible because my waistband is way too tight. And I know for sure if I sit down, the hook and eye will be no longer. So yeah, that's the other challenge that I had to face. Now for the favorites with this pair of pants. This pocket with the invisible zipper on this side. Whoever thought about that, they are a genius. They are genius. I have no words. I have no words. I'll link that video down below on how you can achieve a pocket with the side zipper. I love my pocket. I just love it. And the other star, the bows, they are the stars of the show. I love that I put long ties on the bottom of my pants. So if I wanted to do a bow action, I can. If I just wanted to wrap it around my ankle twice, I can, and just wear some sandals. I could do whatever I want with the bottom. And another thing was that I reduced the expansion of my pants. I reduced it to 8 inches. That was the best thing that I could have done for these pants, because now it's the right amount of fabric. It's not so much volume with me having it at the 12-inch that I had added on to the mock-up. So if you want to make a pair of balloon pants, I would suggest between 6 inches and 9 inches to expand a pattern that you already have. If you have a trouser pattern or a pair of pants you already have a pattern for on the side seam, just expand it 6 to 8 inches. No more than 8 inches to get this type of effect. I quickly made this top. It's a twisted top, stretchy material. It took me like an hour to make just to go with my pants. And that's it, y'all. That is it. All right, y'all. That is it for today's video. If you like this video and a previous video on these balloon pants, just give this video a like and comment down below if you would like to. Let's have a discussion about this whole process on these balloon pants. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.